Generic greetings and welcome to Heliborne. This is a helicopter war game. You have a squadron of helicopters, actually several squadrons. Those squadrons are capped at a particular tier and era, so things like Vietnam up to modern day, and then you will assign up to 3 helicopters to that squadron. So you've got different roles of helicopters, so you've got fast and light armoured scouts, you've got troop transports, you've got heavily armed gunships, etc. You will then jump into the map and do the helicopter things, so that could be things like shooting down other helicopters, assaulting bases, capturing points, dropping off troops, doing the objectives, scouting about, and hopefully having a lot of fun while doing all of this. Obviously, I've played close to 9 hours now, so although it's still a first impressions, because I've only played the first 2 tiers, not 3 and 4, I've only played 1 and 2, and obviously there's loads of helicopters that I just haven't checked out. I've still got a good idea what the game is like, but it's not a full review because, as I said, I haven't gone through all of it yet, and I've only really touched the American side of it rather than the Soviet forces, so, you know, that's why it's a preview. Either way, I'm going to show you a little bit of the game, and you can decide whether it's something for yourself or not. So I'll show you the current squadron that I'm going to use, I'll then jump into a co-op battle, show you the moment-to-moment fighting, and then I'll go through the progression system and the way you upgrade things and all of that sort of thing near the end of the video. So this is my current co-op squadron, American. Like I said, it's split into American and Soviet forces, although, to be fair, this thing here, which is the this is the Westland AH Mark 1 Getsuminator. That thing is British, but hey-ho. This is the Bananarama H-21 troop transport. And then finally over here, we've got the Bell UH-1B Freedom Dispenser. And it's quite good because it's got loads of rocket pods as well. So that's what we've got running here. So we've got a light scout, which is quite fast. We've got a troop transport, and then we've got a bit of a middle ground type thing. So I'm going to go to single co-op and then start a game. You can see we've got 4 maps, and sadly there is only the 4 maps, and it's capped at a particular tier as well, which is a bit of a shame. There's no matchmaking in this. It's you know, like old school, you have to actually create your game, which is a bit of a shame, but I'll get onto that later on. So I'm going to select my co-op squadron, and we'll say medium difficulty, co-op for 4 people, so other people can join in this, and that's what I'm hoping for. Simultaneous objective 2, and we'll say 20 objectives, standard mode. The only difference between PvP and the co-op squadron is that the PvP has got some anti-helicopter missiles in it, some man-pads, which are used for the troops that you put on the ground, and then they'll shoot from the ground up to enemy helicopters. But in co-op, you don't have enemy helicopters, it's just objectives, so I don't need those. Anyway, so we'll click join battle and then go in. The difference between PvP and PvE is there's not a lot. It's the same maps. It is, in PvP you don't get a list of objectives, but you do have to capture the points and do all of the things that we'll be doing here. You just don't get the alerts to do it. But obviously you will have the added difficulty of the enemy helicopters trying to shoot you and all of the things that go with that. So I'm going to go with the Scout AH Mark 1, the Westland Getsuminator, and then we'll jump in. So quick rundown of the UI. Obviously in the center is our helicopter and the things that we're looking around to hopefully avoid and not crash into, such as that mountain. On the top left we have all of our options and indeed readout for the weapons. So it currently shows 400 rounds in our primary weapon, which I believe is a 7.62mm Jimpy, so it's got 2 of those. We've got some rocket pods, which is 70mm rockets. You can see they're clamped on the side there, and then we've got all of the other buttons for our ancillary stuff, so flares, which I can press, and there you go, there's some flares, and also the troops that we can drop and blah blah blah. On the bottom left we've got the chat window, there you go. On the bottom right, we've got our mini-map. We are in orange and enemies in blue. I don't know why it's that way. Normally it's the other way around. But anything in blue, the numbers in blue, that's captured by the enemy. Anything in orange is ours, and then the grey ones are the neutral ones. On the sort of middle right, we've got the helicopter readout. So currently 100% health, and all of our systems are undamaged. You can get criticals, and things like your rotors get hit, and fuel tank and such. Top right, we've got our objectives, which is currently find things and destroy them. And then on the top, the timer for the match, as well as the overall summary for how many objectives we completed. We win if we get to 20, the enemy win if we fail 10. So let's go. So space W, come on, take off, there we are, and then we can fly around. So you look around, mouse and keyboard here, no problem at all. Obviously if you look down, you're going to start going forward, you pull back, you're going to start going back. Space goes up, shift goes down, and you can WS and D as well to tilt that around. I'm going to press space and then just to tilt forward, and then we get some speed on. Speaking of speed, that is shown on the sort of centre left, which is currently 205 kilometers an hour. It also shows you what we're currently armed with, which is the FN Mag 7.62mm, 2 machine guns. There we go. I'll just reload them as well. You can reload them, whereas the ooh, good grief, that is a mountain. And the rocket pods you can't reload. Actually, it's just you have to go back to base for that. We've also got the current height, which is currently 130 meters, but also shows you distance to the ground as well, which is currently 13 meters. What I'm trying to do is land just about here, and the reason for that is I have a mortar team on board, so I'm going to deploy that mortar team, and then later on we will be able to use that. You can go straight through all of the foliage and trees. Obviously that's not accurate at all, but it's, you know, just for gameplay purposes. So we've got some motor patrol boats around here which I need to destroy. So I'm going to, I think there they are, but actually there's actually a couple more of them. So I'm just going to destroy this one here because it's one I can quickly take a bit of a swipe at. And actually that one I'm not going to bother because I've only got 21 rockets in this. Remember, this is not a gunship, this is a scout helicopter. So it's very fast, it's not terribly well armed or armoured, but you know what, it seems to do the job quite well. So that is one of our objectives complete, but we've only got 4 missiles left. So that's now done, that's fine. And I'm going to go and find the other one on the left. Looks like someone else has joined in. We've currently got Captain Swag Spa. It's off the list. It's using a UHB-1 Freedom Dispenser by the look of it, which is quite good. And here's the other boat. So we'll have to account for lead there, and we'll switch to machine gun. You do have to account for bullet drop and lead, and looks like we've done all right there. And then finally we've got the other one. So because this is a helicopter, I can actually hover. So I'm just going to come right near this guy and say, oh, hi, how's it going? Oh, look at the wash of the there we go, of the rotor wash on the bottom on the water. That's very nice. Look at that. It's like Apocalypse Now, but with a British helicopter instead. Cool. So that was that destroyed. So we've now got a couple more objectives. Find and destroy the enemy vehicle group in the marked area, and also locate and destroy enemy soldiers in landing zone 4. Now that's going to be a little bit more difficult for him than me, because soldiers, when they're on the ground, especially in the tree line, very, very, very difficult to see. So the hell was that? The only reason you know that they're there is you're getting shot at. Well, obviously the objective tells that they're going to be there, but you can only see them when you get shot at, or you get within a very, very close range. However, this is a scout helicopter, and it has the advantage of being able to see things like that. See how far I can see them away? Other people won't be able to see that. Also, I have the ability to press B, and that will not only confirm more targets in the area, it'll also broadcast it to other players, I believe, so they can shoot it as well. These aren't actually an objective, by the way. I'm just taking them out because they were here. There we are. Okay, so we know that the boats are going to be over here, and I will be able to hopefully take a bit of a strafe and run at them. Looks like they're already getting shot. Looks like there's a couple of them. Oh, there he is. I'm just going to... I was going to say shoot that, but I can't because I'm out. So what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to switch over to my mortar team because there's some guys on the beach here, and I will say fire. The more you aim in a certain area, the more you will... Oh, God, they've got missiles! They've got RPGs. They're not man-pads, so they're not actually locking onto me, but they're still deadly. There we go, there's my mortars. Yes, the more you look in a certain area, the more it sort of focuses in. Can you see this? So it'll go aim, 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 and then you can fire. And if other people place them, then they all are grouped as well. So there's a reason to place more than one, because you can have a big battery firing away, which is very, very decent indeed. Anyway, let's go back to the base, and we will land and rearm and repair. Currently on 89% health, so I've only taken 11%, so it's no problem at all. But I really do want to get my missiles back as well, because if I don't have these... They're not missiles, they're rockets. Is there a difference? I think there is. Anyway, let's go and land. So that guy's going to land shortly. I have to land on the orange mark point, so I'm just going to come in. I'm going to bleed my speed off by pulling back and pull down, and... fairly smooth, not too bad at all. That was okay, that's fine. I must confess, it's quite intuitive flying these. When I first played, I really did not find it intuitive at all for some reason. Then after about maybe 10 minutes of flying, 20 minutes of flying, it just clicked, and it just works. It does seem to work. It is arcadey, but it does the job quite nicely. Anyway, so we're going to head over to position 3, and we find destroy infantry marked to position 3, which is actually an enemy captured base. Oh, it looks like he's going over there. So he's going to go to point 1, which is destroy positions... oh no, he has to find the infantry. He's going to go over there and shoot them, and I need to capture 3. We've actually done this the wrong way around, because I really need to be over there, because he's better armoured than I, because he's got more durability. So when I fly over this, I'm going to get shot to hell by these anti-air points. See the flak? They're not flak, but lots of machine guns. It's quad guns, I think. But either way, I've managed to zip past and take them out. And there is some infantry in the tree line, so we'll just hose them up. And then that's taken out. And what I'll do is I'll just have a cheeky landing, and then we'll get the troops out. Because I had 3 troops on board. Originally, I had 2 mortars and 1 standard troop guy. But because you can't get multiple of the specialists, you just refill with standard grunts, and I've just got them. And when you drop them off, what they'll do is they'll start occupying positions. So now we've occupied both of the anti-air things there. So that's cool. I'm going to go back and rearm. I might even get a different helicopter just to show you the difference. I might get the banana armor out. Might as well. But this is what I like about, or one of the things I really like about Heliborne is that it's not just like World of Tanks in the sky. You know, it's got the element of, it's the arcadey bit, and you've got the system damage and all that sort of stuff. But they have it's helicopters, dropping troops off and stuff. That's what I like. That's completely different, and not something I've seen a lot before, where you actually drop. Looks like Captain Swag Spiral was shot down by ground fire, which is a bit of a shame. We have to capture all points at landing zone 4. This is fairly easy for me to do. But yeah, as I was saying, I really like the whole landing troops and such, and you got like door gunners and all sorts of good stuff as well. And them things there, them motor torpedo boats in PvP, on this map anyway, point 3 and point 1 have a dock, and if you drop troops off at the dock, they'll actually get in them boats and start patrolling around, which I think is awesome. Absolutely awesome. I've actually got some RPG teams, so I'm going to deploy them out there. You have to look around until it says like it's like it goes to a solid figure there, and then they can go there, and those will be able to protect things a bit better, you see. So that's another objective completer rated. So 7 objectives out of 20 complete. So we have to capture landing zone 1 and 2. So that's me and his task. That should be okay. I don't know what he's in. He's in the scouts, so he won't be able to fully capture point 1. He might be able to partially get point 2, which he has done, but at best he's only got 3 troops. So I'm going to head over that way. This thing, it's not terribly slow, but it's certainly not maneuverable, and it does handle like a greased up pig on roller skates at times, because you'll just turn, and guess what? The helicopter will continue going the way you were pointing. Because it is a fairly big thing. It is a fairly big tractor, for the lack of a better term. I think it's a bit of a tractor. It's it's not very good to handle. It's also got, as far as I'm aware, not very good durability either, so you do get hit fairly hard. Actually, you don't get hit hard, you just get hit once and then explode 3 times, but it is what it is. What it's used for is dropping off 18 troops at a point. Like, I'm just going to land here, and then, oh, look at that. Buttered the bread on that one. Well, close enough. Nah, yeah, good enough for government work. Right, let's take off, and we'll go to capture all points at landing point 2. Oh! Looks like he tried to capture landing point 2, but I don't think he got it all. He must have only got some, and looks like he's crashed as well. Oh, good grief, what the hell's that? Oh, yeah, it looks like there's some enemy troops spawned there, and rockets coming. I heard an RPG getting fired off. They're not man pads, so they're not like stingers or anything like that. They don't actually target you. You can get flares, and I did show you in the Westland Guest Summonator, but that thing there, that had flares because I equipped it. This one, I think you can equip it with flares, but I just don't have them. Oh, look at that. Smooth! Right, so, yes, as I was saying, that's our capture. I think we'll go back now because we might as well. Yeah, the manpads will lock onto you and come towards you, and you have to, do some evasives and get your flares out, whereas the RPGs are just, fire and forget. They'll come at you in whatever direction they're being fired. So you can easily dodge them, but they do fire them very close range as well, which can be a bit naughty if you get too close, because you get shotgunned essentially. Right, okay, so we're going to head down to the landing pad, and let's see if I can not crash. I need to bleed my speed off just a bit. And it's pretty good. Okay, so we're going to switch over to the UH-1B Freedom Dispenser, and we're going to head over to, well, what have we got? We've got currently 10 out of 20 objectives, not bad at all. But we've also got find and destroy the enemy vehicle group in the marked area, which will be the motor patrol boats, and then number 1 as well, which is enemy soldiers. So I should be able to do the enemy soldiers quite well because I've got a lot of rockets. I've got 48 rockets. I also have door gunners, so you can see there's guys hanging out the side there with the M60s. I think are they M60s? They might be M60s. Either way, or is it Brownings? I don't know. Anyway, they've got them on the side. They'll be able to shoot as they see stuff. So you get ready. Here we go. There you go. They're just opening up. If they see something, they will open up. So, a lot of stuff coming from there. So, just light the tree line up. There's the rockets coming in, as I mentioned before. And we're getting close enough so that we can actually see them this time. That distinctive of the Huey sounds of Vietnam. And, like, it's about to fall out the sky at any moment. And, hang on, there's a couple left. Job done, I think. Yep, there we go. Cool, 17 rockets left. I do have 5 people on board, so I may as well... I think that's his wreck, by the way. I might as well land and get the guys out. There you go. You don't have to land on the H's. It just obviously gives you extra style points for doing it, although that was wasn't too bad. As long as you land roughly near the area, you'll be alright. Everyone's crashed before, so I wouldn't worry about it if you do it. I mean, sorry, this is the internet. No, shame on you if you make any mistake ever on a game. Casual peasants. Anyway, so we're going to head to point, I think, well, column 1? Yeah, row 1. Head over there and shoot that boat. Looks like we control all the points now, which is good. If this was PvP, obviously we'd be gaining loads of points here. We'd pretty much have won by now, to be honest with you. But we'd also have the added... disadvantage of getting shot at by enemy helicopters. I do prefer... I've played probably more co-op, more of this, the PvE, than the PvP, but I do prefer the PvP, just because I think it's a little bit more dynamic, and the co-op can get a little bit repetitive, in all honesty, but it is what it is. Yeah, Captain Willard's just exploded. Right, so... Is it Willard? Apocalypse now. Martin Sheen. Yeah, I think so. Anyway, that's our objective completed rated. So we're going to reload the guns. I think I mentioned you can reload your like machine guns or whatever as much as you need to, but the rockets you have to go back. And looks like we've got... Oh, got some people down here. So I'm just going to sort of circle it a bit. But I'm going to try and keep some decent speed. So I'm going to keep like rotation, keep my rotational speed on. So as in rotate around the area, because any rockets, if I slow down, what'll probably happen is they'll just slam straight at me. But if I keep going around, I should be all right. There you go. The problem is that you haven't got unlimited depression or elevation on them guns. That's actually taken out quite well. That's good. Okay, so obviously he's in the scout. He's going to be really, really fast and bombing around the place, which is good because it means he can scout that up. This is just one of the maps, so there's 4 maps in total. I've only played this one and the next one. Both of them, I believe, are Vietnam. This one is obviously very, very, very mountainous, very hilly. The other one is a lot flatter, so it's like rice paddies and things like that. And the way it works is that they have interconnected bases, and the fire bases, they will assemble a convoy of like troop transports and anti-air and tanks, and they'll actually send them towards the other bases, and you have to protect them. So that's even more of a game changer, really. Let's just land there, and I think what we'll do is capture all points at landing point 5. I'll switch over to the banana armor, and we'll head over this way. So landing point 5 is just back there. So come on, there we go. There's also upgrades as well, which I'll show you once we finish the game, but they're not extensive. You know, it's not like equip a 30cm howitzer to the front of the thing and make it a super death gun or anything. It's more a case of increase extra door gunners, change the rocket loadout so it's maybe sort of ATGMs. I think you've got some guided ones as well, or maybe more missiles. Changed it to like a 20mm auto cannon from a dual machine gun. It's all, as far as I can tell, historically accurate. So if it was equipped with it in service, then it was in this. If it wasn't, then tough. We're not onto the paper planes just yet, and paper helicopters. And yeah, that's about right. There you go. It's not the best looking game in the world, I must confess. I think the helicopters are quite nice, but the terrain's a bit much of a muchness. I mean, it's okay, it's fine, and ow, getting shot at. Hopefully my Marines can take care of business. What the hell? Looks like, oh, yeah, see, they're assaulting the base. Hopefully, though, the dog gunner will take them out. And oh, there's one over there as well. Not anymore. And that's taken out, and I might as well land and get there and just rearm that thing. They automatically get repaired as soon as they're got guys on them. So, and blink, there you go. It's automatically done. It is what it is. There you go. So I've shown you rockets, mentioned man pads. Don't think there's much else. The level 3 and 4 maps, or the tier 3 and 4 maps, I believe is it Afghanistan, and that's a tier 3 one. The 4th one is, I'm gonna say Kosovo, but I don't know if it is Balkans. I'll check later on. There's also a single player like mini campaign for the Soviet and US forces. Haven't tried them though, and as I said, there is PvP, which I do prefer. Although I've spent more time in this just because it's just like a light. It's pretty good when there's like you and two or three other friends on. I played this up to 4 with 3 other mates, and it's really good when you pick different roles and you put it on the hard mode, and it's a bit of a challenge because you're having to make sure you send the scout helicopter in first so they can pick stuff, and then it is like a Vietnam War film, like where you just have 3 helicopters absolutely lighting the tree line up, and it does look fairly impressive, I must confess. So what I'm going to do now is try and hunt some motor patrol boats. That guy's about to go out of the map. Yep, see that? Can you see he's just falling out the sky? It says crashed. I don't know whether he crashed or whether he... Let's see if I can lead these. No, I'm not doing too bad. I'm getting splashed down. Yeah, I got it. If you go off the map, you do explode, which is not great. Oh, yeah, like that. In fact, it's telling me if I leave the map, I will die. And I wish there was like a red line to show you where that was, because sometimes you think, oh, I'm going to make it, and then boom, you die. This thing here is a nightmare, because sometimes you get troops around this point, and what happens is you try to come and assault them, but like that's the end of the map there, I think, so you often die. That's the point I was mentioning earlier, by the way, about on PvP you can land and get the boats. So this is to destroy all enemy soldiers around here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to land, actually, because I might as well, and there we go, landed. Not exactly smooth, about as smooth as Egyptian whiskey, but managed to get there anyway. Red Dwarf jokes, cool. And ooh, we did a Battlestar Galactica jump out there. Did you see that? The missile was just about hit us and just activated the jump drive, and we're out. So I've just unlocked a helmet, which is pretty cool, and there's the end of the map. So that's it. How long did it take? Don't think it said. 10-15 minutes, something like that. Points earned 128. It shows you the sorties and other stuff is there, but GG, well done. So, what will you use these points for? I've currently got 1,638 generic units of unlock points, and if we go over to progression, we can see the Soviet and American list, and these are all of the helicopters that you can unlock. Obviously, this is a game where the developers will be hopefully adding more helicopters in, but you've got 3 different types of helicopters. The square is a transport, the triangle is a scout, and the diamond is a gunship. So, for example, we have the, where is it? It is that one. We have the Apache. There you go. It's an Apache. Soviets obviously have the Hind. Is there a Havoc in it? Because I think I'm... Oh, actually, was the Havoc America? I don't know. I remember playing a game back in the 90s called Apache Havoc, and also I'm sure I played one called Hind versus Apache or something like that. That was my first experience, and pretty much the last about helicopters. Those things are a beast. Those things are a beast. As you can see, I've hardly touched the Russian treats, mainly gone up the Americans, mainly because I wanted that thing there. But you've got different types of stuff. You've got like say like sort of gunship, and it costs you, well, not a lot of points to go up the next one. So I got 140 odd points there. So to get a tier 2/3 Chinook, I think that is. It is, yes, the Chinook, the CH-47. That is 140 points. So you can very quickly, after a couple of games, get into pretty much whatever helicopter you want. And if you wanted to go straight for tier 4, I reckon you could do it. I reckon it'll take you a couple of hours to get there. But I think after maybe 10 hours, you could probably get a decent amount of tier 3s and 4s if you really want to do. What I've been doing though is spending all of my points on upgrading the helicopters. So as you can see, this one here, the UH-1B Bravo Huey, otherwise known as the Freedom Dispenser, this has it's got Browning machine guns, and I've upgraded it to have ATGMs and extra Hydra rockets to 70 mils. Also got flare dispensers as well as dual door gunners, and you actually have two M60s on either side. So it's a fairly decent beast. This one, I often use this to assault with the helicopters. You can see it's got durability, speed, agility, climb rate, specification rating things, and also you've got your troops as well, which is 5. So you've got like a list of what it is. So as you can see, this one here, the OH-6, is that the little bird? I think it might be the little bird. That's got obviously very good speed and agility, but its durability is a lot less than say things like, well, that thing, as you might imagine. But obviously these are different eras, so if you compare it to, say, compare that one, which is got, what's that? It's like a light aircraft, a light helicopter type thing, bell helicopter. It's decent durability, decent speed and stuff. But then if you go to things like that one, obviously a lot more agile, and it's a lot faster as well, but its durability is a lot less. So they all do different things. They all have their place. And you can also equip them with all sorts. If I go up to squadrons and we'll say edit squadron, the way you make your squadron is you will put up to 3 helicopters in the squadron and you have a certain number of points. So it's up to 150 points for tier 1. Tier 2, I believe, is up to, what's tier 2 up to? That is up to 250, and then I'm guessing 350? No, 480 for that one. So if I just go back to this one, you can see that each helicopter costs a certain number of points, and then you've also got the upgrades as well. So this thing, the Westland Getsuminator, this currently has 28 Hydra rockets, but I could also give it ATGMs 4s if I had it. I've got it unlocked, but I just don't have enough points for it. But I could say, well, remove the mortar team because that costs 8 points, and then put something else on. Same as the defense, I can say, right, you know what, I don't actually want flares. In fact, for this corp one, there's no point in flares because I don't think you get man pads, or maybe in harder difficulty you do, which I think is why I may have had that. You also get different camo, not for all of the helicopters, but for this thing, you can see we've got different camo. So we've got the we've got marine green, we've got yeah, we've got like a mouth on the front, then we've got like a navy one as well. And there is, it's not a free-to-play game, this thing. It is, you know, you do have to buy the thing, but there is, like, options to purchase packs of different skins, but they mean nothing. They just change the way it looks, that's all it is. And as I said, you can change the amount of soldiers that you've got in. So you've got standard infantry, then you've got man pads, RPGs, and mortar teams. But that is pretty much the game. You can have unlimited squadrons as well, and also you don't have to buy the helicopter. Once it's unlocked in the progression tree, you just add it to the squadron. That's all you do. So you don't have to say, to make another squadron, buy like 2 other gazelles or whatever and add them all in. And you don't have to do that. You just once you've unlocked it, you shove it in. But that's the game, really. That is a little bit of Heliborne. So, in summary, I really like it. I'm very much enjoying it. Although, can I recommend it? Yes, but with several caveats. The problem is that I think the co-op is a little bit repetitive. Now, I'm getting more of it because I'm playing with friends, and that's just quite enjoyable. And you used to have a natter with your mates and fly the helicopters around, and it's quite fun. But it is quite repetitive, and because there's only 4 maps, and also because the maps are based around the tier of helicopter you're flying, if you want to fly, say, tier 1, you have to do the same map. You have to do the tier 1 map. That's a little bit annoying. So having only 4 maps, yeah, that's problematic. I would really, really like more maps. Also, it's a small multiplayer game with a niche setting and theme, and it's about niche things. I would say helicopters. I have very little interest in helicopters, and the thing is, I'm a big war gamer. I play tabletop and computer war games all the time, and have done for most of my life, including a lot of historical stuff. And even someone like me, I had very little interest in helicopters. I mean, obviously that's on me, but I'm just imagining the standard punter probably has almost no interest in this sort of thing. But maybe it's not marketed for that. Maybe it is marketed for the people who really like the helicopters. But saying that, although I didn't have any interest in it before I played this, when I started playing it, I've now learned more about it because it is actually a decent enough game. So, you know, I just think it might be initially off-putting for someone to look and go, oh, it's about helicopters and I don't really know much. And it doesn't have like a draw, you know. It's not like a space dragon firing lava at a bionic snail or whatever. You know what I mean? There's not like a big hook. It's like it might be a bit dry for some people, but I don't think that should put people off really because it is a decent enough game. No matchmaking is a bit of a problem, although that'll only really become more of a problem as the game progresses on. I think either way you get loads more people and the server list becomes bloated, or like a lot of these games, sadly, because it is a small multiplayer focused game, and let's not kid ourselves, it is made to be played co-op and PvP primarily. Yes, you can play offline, yes, there's single player, but that's not what the game's about. If the community dwindles and you start getting problems finding games, it'll dwindle more, and then eventually you've got a dead game. And that's always the problem when it comes to these, we'll use the word indie multiplayer games. Don't think that's the case at the moment. I've, like I say, not really had any problems jumping in games. Currently there is 122 people playing, and you can see there's several games going. If I just filter it out to say tier 3 co-op, you can see there's already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games on there. PvP, you've got 2 going as well, and you can create one yourself. So I've not had a real problem playing. But obviously things can change, so I thought I'd mention it nonetheless. Either way, if you like what you see, then links are in the description so you can check it out yourself. Hope you have enjoyed the video. If you want to see more, let me know. Whew, I think that was the end of that. I do have a beverage, by the way, I just haven't drunk it. It's tasty. Grapefruit juice. Anyway, hope you have enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.